Admiral Hana Kang stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching the stars through the massive window. Around her, officers worked at their stations, their faces lit by blue screens. The battle was over. Another victory. Another perfect victory. Enemy fleet destroyed, Admiral, reported Lieutenant Park from the weapons station. All hostile ships have been eliminated. Hana nodded but did not smile. She never smiled after battles. Victory was simply what she did. It was not special anymore. It was normal. Casualties? She asked. 17 wounded on the Morning Star. No deaths on our side. Good. Send medical teams immediately. Hana turned away from the window. Begin damage reports from all ships. The Crimson Nebula floated outside, red clouds of gas lit by distant stars. It was beautiful, but Hana barely noticed. She had seen hundreds of battlefields. After 30 years, they all looked the same. Captain Narration approached from the left side of the bridge. She was younger than Hana by 15 years, with short black hair and sharp eyes. Nari had served with Hana for 10 years now. She was one of the few people Hana trusted. Congratulations, Admiral, Nari said quietly. That makes 287 consecutive victories. Thank you, Captain. Hana's voice was flat. Prepare the fleet for jump. We return to base in 6 hours. There's something else, Nari said. She held a datapad in her hands. Command has sent new orders. Priority 1. Hana took the pad and read quickly. Her expression did not change, but her fingers tightened slightly on the device. The words glowed on the screen. Operation Homecoming. Objective: recapture Earth, humanity's birth world. The planet had been occupied by the Dominion Empire for 15 years. 15 long years since the enemy had taken their home. Every human in the galaxy wanted Earth back. It was more than a planet. It was a symbol. It was history. It was where everything began. They want you to lead the assault, Nari said. The largest fleet ever assembled. 340 ships. When do we leave? Hana asked. 2 weeks. You'll command the entire operation. Hana handed the pad back. Inform all fleet commanders. We begin preparations immediately. Nari hesitated. Admiral, there's more. Intelligence has identified the Dominion commander defending Earth. Show me. Nari pulled up a file on her own pad. A photograph appeared. A man's face. Hard features, dark eyes. Scars on his left cheek. He wore the black uniform of a Dominion Supreme Commander. His name is Wu Jintai, Nari said. He's human. A traitor who defected to the Dominion 18 years ago. He's been responsible for massive casualties against our forces. Command considers him extremely dangerous. Hana stared at the photograph. The bridge sounds faded. The voices of her officers became distant. Her heart, which never raced during battles, suddenly beat faster. She knew that face, she knew those eyes. It was impossible, but she knew him. Admiral? Nari's voice broke through. Are you all right? Hana forced her expression to remain neutral. Years of training helped her control her face even when her mind was screaming. I'm fine. Send me all files on this, Commander. Everything we have. Yes, Admiral. Nari looked concerned but did not ask questions. She knew Hana well enough to know when to stay quiet. Hana turned and walked to her private office behind the bridge. The door slid shut behind her. Alone now, she allowed herself to lean against the wall. Her hands were shaking. She had not shaken in 30 years. Not since the day Mars Colony Prime burned. She sat at her desk and opened the files on Jintai. There were dozens of reports. Battle records. Intelligence assessments. Psychological profiles. She read them all even though her eyes kept returning to that photograph. Wu Jintai, age 51, born on Mars. Worked as a systems engineer before his defection. Captured during the Mars Colony Prime attack. Presumed dead for 2 years. Then suddenly appeared in Dominion ranks. Rose quickly through their military. Known for brutal efficiency. Responsible for the destruction of the Fifth Fleet. Killed thousands of coalition soldiers. The file said he was a monster. A traitor. A man without honor. But Hana remembered something different. She remembered a kind smile. She remembered gentle hands. She remembered a man who believed in peace, who hated violence, who wanted to build things instead of destroying them. She remembered the man she was going to marry. Hana opened a locked drawer in her desk. Inside was a small box. She had not opened it in 18 years. Her fingers trembled as she lifted the lid. A ring sat inside, simple silver, nothing expensive. Jintai had saved for 3 months to buy it. He had proposed to her on Mars, under the dome where you could see both Earth and the stars. She had said yes without hesitation. 2 weeks later, Mars burned. 25,000 people died. Jintai's name was on the casualty list. She had seen it herself. Confirmed dead. Body never recovered. She had grieved for 1 week. Then she had locked away everything that reminded her of him. She had transformed her grief into rage. She had become perfect, unbeatable, cold. She had won 287 battles because she no longer cared about anything except victory. But now he was alive. Alive and fighting for the enemy. Alive and waiting for her at Earth. A soft knock on the door. "Admiral?" Nari's voice. "The fleet commanders are waiting for your briefing." Hana closed the box and locked it away again. She stood and straightened her uniform. When she looked in the mirror, her face was calm again. The perfect admiral, the woman who never lost. "Coming, Captain." She walked back to the bridge. Officers saluted as she passed. She began giving orders for the Earth operation. Her voice was steady. Her mind was clear. She was professional, efficient, perfect. But inside, a question burned. "What happened to you, Jintai? How did the man I loved become this?" And another question, more dangerous. "When I face you in battle, will I be able to pull the trigger?"
Hana pushed the thought away.
She had a mission. She had orders. She had a perfect record to maintain. Earth needed to be liberated. The Dominion needed to be defeated. Jintai was just another enemy commander. That was what she told herself. But deep down, in a place she had locked away for 18 years, her heart knew the truth. Everything was about to change. For 30 years she knew no defeat, but she had never fought the man she loved before. The war was coming to Earth, and Hana Kang was going home. 18 years ago, Mars Colony Prime was the jewel of human expansion. Under massive domes, 3 million people lived and worked. Gardens grew in the red soil. Children played in parks. It was a paradise built on an alien world. Hana Kang was 34 years old then. Already a commander, already respected, but not yet the legend she would become. She had been assigned to the Mars Military Research Facility for 6 months. Her job was to test new weapon systems. That was where she met Wu Jintei. He worked in the engineering section. He was 33, tall and thin with kind eyes and a quick smile. He designed ship systems and always had grease under his fingernails. Hana met him when her weapons platform failed during a test. "I can fix it," he had said, looking at the broken machine. "Give me 3 hours." He fixed it in 2. "You're good at this," Hana had said, watching him work. "I like solving problems," Jintai replied. "Making things work better? It's more interesting than breaking things." They started talking after that. First about work, then about other things. Books, music, Earth, which neither had seen in years. Jintai told her about growing up in Seoul before his family moved to Mars. Hana told him about Europa, where she was born in a mining colony. "Why did you join the military?" he asked one day. "To protect people," Hana said simply. "The galaxy is dangerous. Someone has to stand guard, but don't you want peace?" Jintai asked. "Real peace, not just winning battles." "Peace comes after victory," Hana said. "First, we have to be strong enough that no one dares attack us." Jintai shook his head. "I think peace comes from understanding, from talking, from building together instead of fighting." They disagreed about many things, but somehow they fell in love anyway. Now 18 years later, Hana sat in her quarters reviewing every file about Jintai's defection. The fleet was preparing to jump toward Earth. 2 weeks of preparation time had passed quickly. Soon they would be at Sol System. Soon she would face him. Captain Nari entered after knocking. She carried more data pads. "The intelligence summary you requested, Admiral," Nari said, setting them on the desk. "Everything we have on Supreme Commander Wu Jintei." "Thank you, Captain." Hana did not look up from her current screen. Nari hesitated. "Admiral, may I speak freely?" "Always. You've been different since receiving these orders. I've served with you for 10 years. I've never seen you like this." Nari paused. "Did you know this man?" "Before?" Hana finally looked up. Nari's eyes were concerned, not judgmental. After a long moment, Hana nodded. "Yes, I knew him." "On Mars, before the attack, were you close?" "We were engaged to be married." Nari's eyes widened, but she said nothing, waiting. Hana stood and walked to the window. Stars moved past as the ship traveled through space. He was a good man, Nari. He believed in building, not destroying. He wanted peace more than anything. She turned back. That man in the intelligence files? That's not him. That's not the person I knew. People change, Admiral. Not like this. Not this much. Hana shook her head. Something happened. Something we don't understand. The files say he was captured and held for 2 years before his defection, Nari said carefully. They could have broken him. Torture, psychological manipulation. The Dominion is skilled at turning prisoners. Hana had thought about that. She had barely slept thinking about it. What had they done to him? How much had he suffered? The idea made her want to scream, but she kept her voice calm. Perhaps, or perhaps there's more to this story. Hana picked up one of the data pads. Look at his battle records carefully. Yes, he wins. Yes, coalition forces take casualties. But look at the civilian casualties in the sectors he controls. Nari frowned, scanning the information. They're low. Much lower than other Dominion commanders. Exactly. And look here. Hana pointed to another report. 3 times weapons shipments to Dominion forces mysteriously disappeared in sectors he commanded. 4 times. Intelligence about coalition movements that he definitely had access to never reached Dominion forces. His record of brutality is strong, but the details are strange. What are you saying, Admiral? I'm saying maybe he's not what he appears to be. Hana set down the pad. But I could be wrong. I could be seeing what I want to see because I loved him once. Do you still love him? Nari asked quietly. Hana was silent for a long time. I don't know. I thought he was dead. I buried those feelings 18 years ago. But now, she closed her eyes. Now I don't know anything anymore. The memory came without warning. Jintai kneeling under the Mars dome, the Earth visible in the black sky above. The ring in his hand, simple silver, his savings for 3 months. I'm not rich, he had said, nervous and smiling. I can't give you fancy things. But I can give you everything I am. Will you marry me, Hana? Yes, she had said, not even needing to think. Yes, forever. They had 2 weeks of happiness. 2 perfect weeks of planning their future. Then Hana was called away to lead a defense fleet at the colony borders. An emergency. She would be gone for 3 days. I'll be here when you get back, Jintai promised, kissing her goodbye. I'll start planning the wedding. Those were the last words she heard from him. 2 days into her mission, the emergency broadcast came. Mars Colony Prime under attack. Dominion fleet appeared from nowhere. Defenses overwhelmed. Casualties massive. By the time Hana's fleet could respond, it was over. 25,000 dead. The colony destroyed. The survivors evacuated to other systems. Jintai's name was on the casualty list. Body never recovered. Presumed dead in the dome collapse. Hana remembered standing in the ruins of Mars looking for his body. She searched for 3 days. She found nothing. Just ash and broken metal and the silence of death. She had wanted to die too. But instead, she chose to fight. She took every emotion she had and locked it away. She became cold, efficient, perfect. She won every battle because she no longer feared anything. Death, pain, loss, she had already experienced the worst. Nothing else could hurt her. For 18 years, she was the Iron Admiral. Unbeatable. Unbreakable. Until now. Admiral, Nari said, pulling her back to the present. Whatever happened to him, whatever he is now, we have a mission. We have to free Earth. That has to come first. I know, Hana said. And it will. I won't let personal feelings compromise this operation. But? Hana looked at her second in command. But I need to know the truth. I need to understand what happened to him. And if there's any chance he's still the man I knew, buried somewhere under the Dominion uniform. She paused. Then I need to save him. And if he's not? If he really is a traitor? Then I'll do what must be done. Hana's voice was steel. I'll defeat him and take back our home. Nari nodded slowly. I'll follow you either way, Admiral. You know that. Thank you, Nari. After Nari left, Hana returned to the files. She studied Jintai's tactics, his victories, his patterns. She looked for clues in every battle. She searched for signs of the man she knew. And slowly, carefully, she began to see them. Small things, moments where he could have been more brutal but wasn't. Times when he could have caused more damage but held back. It was subtle. So subtle that maybe no one else would notice, but Hana noticed. Because she had spent 6 months learning how Jintai thought. She knew his mind almost as well as her own. He's trying to tell me something, she thought. Or I'm going insane. Either way, she would find out soon. The fleet was ready. 340 ships, thousands of soldiers, the largest human military operation in history. And at the end of it, waiting at Earth, was the ghost from her past. Hana touched the silver ring she now wore on a chain around her neck, hidden under her uniform. She had not worn it in 18 years, but tonight she put it on. "Wait for me," she whispered to the memory. "I'm coming home." The fleet emerged from jump space at the edge of the Sol system. 340 human ships, the largest force ever assembled. Through the bridge windows, Hana could see the distant sun that warmed Earth. The sun that humanity had watched for millions of years before reaching for the stars. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Lieutenant Park announced. "Begin the approach," Hana ordered. "Battle formation Delta. Keep scanner sweeps at maximum." The fleet moved forward like a metal river. Destroyers on the flanks, cruisers in the middle. The flagship Eternal Dawn at the center. Around them, space seemed empty. Too empty. "I don't like this," Captain Nari said quietly, standing beside Hana. "Where are their patrol ships? Their outer defenses?" "He's waiting," Hana said, "letting us come to him." "You think he knows you're commanding this fleet?" "I'm certain he does." As they crossed the orbit of Mars, the sensors began screaming. Red lights flashed across every screen. Warnings blared. "Contact!" Lieutenant Park shouted. "Massive defense network detected. Grid formation covering Earth's entire orbital space. I'm reading. Admiral, I'm reading over 500 weapon platforms, automated defense systems, minefields, energy barriers." "Show me," Hana commanded. The main screen displayed the tactical map. Earth sat in the center, blue and green and beautiful. Around it, like a deadly web, was the most sophisticated defense system Hana had ever seen. Layer upon layer of weapons and shields. It would take months to break through with conventional tactics. "He built all this?" Nari whispered. "No," Hana said. "He designed it. He knows how I think. He knows what I would do." She leaned forward. "Find the weak points. There's always a weak point." But as her tactical team worked, Hana realized something. The design was familiar. Too familiar. It used principles she had taught Jintai during their time on Mars. Defensive theories they had discussed over dinner. Ideas she had shared with him about protecting colonies. "He's using my own knowledge against me," she thought. Clever, but also a message. "Weak points identified, Admiral," Lieutenant Park reported. 3 potential breakthrough zones. Here, here, and here. Hana studied them. They looked like mistakes. Gaps in the coverage. But she knew Jintai. He didn't make mistakes. "They're traps," she said. "He wants us to attack those points." "What do we do?" Nari asked. "We attack anyway. But not how he expects." Hana began giving orders. "Split the fleet into 3 groups. We'll hit all 3 weak points simultaneously, but our real push will be at the western point. That's where I would put the strongest defenses if I were him. Because you'd assume the enemy would avoid the strongest point?" "Exactly." The fleet divided and moved forward. The battle began at 0800 hours. It was hell. The defense platforms opened fire with devastating accuracy. Missiles streaked through space. Energy beams cut through shields. Hana's ships fought back, but the automated systems were relentless. No fear. No hesitation. Just cold mechanical destruction. Morningstar reports heavy damage. Communications reported. "They're requesting support." "Send the thunder," Hana ordered. "Keep pushing forward." Hours passed. The fighting was brutal. Hana's forces destroyed dozens of platforms, but more kept activating. It was like fighting a hydra. Cut off one head, 2 more appeared. And through it all, she felt Jintai's presence. Every defense move was calculated perfectly. Every trap was positioned exactly where it would hurt most. He knew her tactics because she had taught them to him. He knew her thinking because he had loved her. "Admiral," Nari said urgently, "we've lost the Golden Dawn. 17 more ships heavily damaged. We're taking casualties." Hana's hands tightened on the railing. Casualties. She never took casualties. Not in 30 years. Not in 287 victories. "Pull back the damaged ships," she ordered. "Bring in the reserve fleet." But even as she gave orders, she knew She was not winning. She was barely holding even. For the first time in 3 decades, she was facing an equal opponent. No, not equal. Someone better, because he knew her weaknesses. The battle raged for 72 hours, 3 full days of constant fighting. Ships exploded, people died, the beautiful space around Earth filled with wreckage and fire, and then suddenly, all the defense platforms stopped firing. "Cease fire," Hana ordered immediately. "All ships hold position." The fleet hung in space, weapons ready, waiting. On the tactical display, the defense network was still active but not shooting. The screen flickered, and then a message appeared. "Incoming transmission, Admiral," communications reported. "Priority channel. It's addressed to you personally." Hana's heart hammered. "Put it through." The main screen changed. The tactical display vanished, replaced by a face. Jintai's face. Live. Real. Right there. He looked older. Lines around his eyes. Scars on his left cheek. His hair had gray in it now, but his eyes were the same. Those same dark eyes she had fallen in love with. The bridge was absolutely silent. Every officer watched. "Hello, Hana," Jintai said. His voice was cold, empty. "I knew you'd come. I've been waiting." Hana forced herself to stay calm, to not show emotion, not in front of her crew. "Supreme Commander Wu, I'm here to take back Earth. I know why you're here." He smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "You've come with the largest fleet humanity could build. 340 ships, impressive, but not enough. We'll see. Will we?" Jintai leaned forward. "I know how you fight, Hana. I know every tactic you favor, every move you'll make. I've spent 18 years studying you, watching your battles, learning your patterns. You can't beat me, because I know you too well." "You knew the old me," Hana said. "I've changed." "Have you?" For just a moment, something flickered in his eyes. "I don't think so. You're still the woman who believes strength is everything, who thinks victory solves all problems, who never asks if there's another way." "There is no other way with the Dominion," Hana said. "They understand only force." "Do they?" Jintai's smile faded. "Or is that just what you tell yourself so you can keep fighting?" "Why did you betray us?" Hana asked suddenly. The question burst out before she could stop it. "Why did you join them?" Jintai was silent for a long moment. His face showed nothing. "I had my reasons. Reasons you couldn't understand. Try me." "No." He shook his head. "We're past talking, Hana. We're enemies now. You command the coalition fleet. I defend Earth. That's all that matters. Then why call me? Why stop the battle?" "To give you a choice." Jintai's expression hardened. "Surrender. Take your fleet and leave. If you do, I guarantee safe passage. No one else needs to die. But if you stay, if you continue this assault, I will destroy you. I will destroy every ship in your fleet. This is your only warning." "You know I can't accept that," Hana said. "I know, but I had to offer. For old time's sake." Something in his voice softened slightly. "You always were stubborn. And you always thought talking could solve everything," Hana replied. "How did that work out?" Pain flashed across Jintai's face, quick and sharp. But then it was gone, replaced by cold determination. "Goodbye, Hana. When we meet again, it will be as enemies." The screen went black. The bridge remained silent. Every officer pretended they had not heard the personal conversation between their admiral and the enemy commander. But Hana knew they had heard, knew they were wondering. "Resume battle formation," she said, her voice steady. "Prepare for renewed assault." "Yes, Admiral," Nari said. But she gave Hana a questioning look. The defense platforms activated again. The fighting resumed. But now, it was different, more intense, more brutal. Jintai was no longer holding back. The defenses attacked with ruthless efficiency. Over the next 6 weeks, they fought constantly. Hana won small victories. She destroyed defense platforms. She pushed her fleet closer to Earth. But the cost was terrible. 37 ships destroyed completely. Hundreds of dead. Thousands wounded. For every meter they advanced, Jintai made them pay in blood. And Hana began to realize something terrifying. She might not win this battle. For 30 years, she had been unbeatable. But now, facing the man who knew her heart, she was struggling. Worse, she noticed something else. Jintai was fighting smart, but he was also fighting careful. His tactics minimized civilian casualties on Earth. He destroyed military targets, but avoided collateral damage. It was not the Dominion way. It was not brutal enough. He's protecting Earth's people, Hana thought, even while defending it for the Dominion. Late one night, alone in her quarters, Hana studied the battle recordings. She watched every engagement. She analyzed every move Jintai made. And slowly, she began to see a pattern. He was leaving her openings. Small ones. Easy to miss. But they were there. Moments when he could have done more damage but didn't. Opportunities he could have exploited but let pass. Why? Was he hesitating? Or was he trying to tell her something? Hana didn't know. But she knew one thing for certain. This battle was no longer just about Earth. It was about truth, about the past, about whether the man she loved still existed somewhere inside the enemy commander, and she would not stop until she found out. The 7th week of battle began with another failed assault. Hana's forces tried to break through the eastern defense line. They failed. 12 more ships damaged. 43 dead. Hana stood in her private office staring at the casualty reports. Names. So many names. People who trusted her. People who believed in her perfect record. Now they were dead because she could not find a way through Jintai's defenses. "Admiral, you need to rest," Nari said from the doorway. "You haven't slept in 30 hours. "I'll sleep when Earth is free," Hana said without turning. "You'll be useless if you collapse from exhaustion." Hana finally looked at her. "Do you think I'm failing, Nari? Tell me honestly." Nari entered the office and closed the door. "I think you're fighting the hardest battle of your life. Against an opponent who knows you better than anyone. No one could do better. But am I winning?" Nari hesitated. "No, we're stuck. And Command is starting to ask questions. They're wondering if maybe you're compromised, because of your history with him." "I know." Hana had received 3 inquiries from Coalition Command. Polite but pointed questions about her tactics. Suggestions that maybe another commander should take over. "What are you going to do?" Nari asked. Before Hana could answer, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. "Admiral to the bridge, urgent." Lieutenant Park's voice over the intercom. Hana ran. Nari followed. They reached the bridge in seconds. "Report," Hana commanded. "Small vessel detected approaching our position," Park said. "It came from Earth's surface. No weapons. It's broadcasting Coalition identification codes. Old codes, Admiral. From 18 years ago." "From Mars," Hana said quietly. "Yes, Admiral. How did you know?" "Put a tractor beam on it. Bring it into the landing bay. Full security team. I want it scanned for weapons and explosives." "Yes, Admiral." 20 minutes later, Hana stood in the landing bay watching security teams examine the small pod. It was barely big enough for one person. Simple design. Old technology. "It's clean, Admiral," the security chief reported. "No weapons. No explosives. Just a data storage device inside. And this?" He handed her an envelope. Paper, real paper. No one used paper anymore. Hana's hand shook as she took it. Her name was written on the front in handwriting she recognized. Jintai's handwriting. She opened it. Inside was a simple note. "For Hana, the truth. Encrypted with our frequency. I'm sorry for everything." JT Nari read over her shoulder. "Our frequency? A private communication channel," Hana said. "Jintai and I used it on Mars for private messages. No one else knew about it? Can you decrypt it?" "Yes." Hana pulled out the data storage device. "In my office, alone." Nari nodded. "I'll be outside if you need me." In her private office, Hana connected the device to her personal terminal. She entered the encryption code, a code only she and Jintai knew. the frequency they had used to send each other love messages when they worked different shifts on Mars. The file opened. A video appeared. Jintei's face filled the screen, but not the cold commander from the recent transmission. This was different. He looked tired, desperate. His eyes were red like he had been crying. "Hana," the recording began. "If you're watching this, then my plan is working. You came to Earth, I knew you would. I've been waiting for you. Not as your enemy, as your partner. Let me explain." Hana sat down slowly, her eyes locked on the screen. 18 years ago, Mars Colony Prime fell. You know that. What you don't know is that I survived. I was trapped under the collapsed dome for 2 days. Dominion soldiers found me. They identified me as your fiancé through our communication records. Jintei paused, his face filled with old pain. They gave me a choice. Work for them as a spy. Pretend to defect. Feed them false information while actually helping the coalition. Or they would deploy their secret weapon. The screen changed. Images appeared. Massive ships. Weapons the size of buildings. Technical schematics, planet killers, Jintei's voice continued. 12 ships capable of cracking a planet's crust. They showed me test footage. They destroyed an uninhabited world in minutes. They told me if I refused to cooperate, they would use these weapons on every human colony. Earth, Europa, Titan, all of them. Billions dead. Hana's hand covered her mouth. I didn't believe them at first, but then they showed me the weapons. Real, functional, ready to deploy. I realized they had the power to exterminate humanity completely. So I agreed. I became their spy. I faked loyalty. I rose through their ranks. For 18 years, Hana. 18 years of pretending to be a monster. The images changed again. Battle reports. Intelligence summaries. I fed information to hidden coalition cells. I sabotaged 7 major Dominion operations. Every battle I won was carefully planned to minimize real casualties. I've been protecting our people while pretending to destroy them. But I couldn't contact you. Couldn't tell you I was alive. Because if the Dominion suspected, they would activate the Annihilation Armada. That's what they call it. The Planet Killer Fleet. Jintei's face returned to the screen. He looked directly at the camera. Directly at Hana. I know where the Armada is hidden, beyond Coalition space. In the Dark Zone. And I've spent 18 years gaining access to their command system. I have the control codes now, but I can't destroy them alone. I need your fleet. I need you. Hana leaned forward, her heart racing. Here's what has to happen. You need to defeat me publicly. Make it look real. The Dominion is watching. They need to believe I'm still loyal, so you have to beat me at Earth. You have to make them think you won through superior tactics. Then I'll arrange to pursue you. We'll meet in deep space. I'll give you the Armada's location and the codes. Then we destroy the weapons together. Jintei's voice grew softer. I know what I'm asking. You've never lost a battle. This will end your perfect record. And it will cost lives. Real lives. I hate myself for asking this. But if we don't destroy the Armada, humanity dies. All of it, everything. He was silent for a moment. I loved you, Hana. I still do. I never stopped. Every day for 18 years I thought about you. About Mars. About the life we should have had. I wore this the whole time. He lifted his hand. On his finger was a simple silver ring, the matching ring to hers, the one she thought had been destroyed with him on Mars. I'm sorry. For everything. For letting you think I was dead. For becoming this person. But I couldn't let our species die, so I became the monster they needed. And I've been waiting. Waiting for you. Waiting for the one person smart enough to help me finish this. The screen went dark for a moment. Then Jintei's face appeared again. One last time. You don't have to trust me. I understand if you can't. But look at the battle patterns. Look at what I've done. You're smart enough to see the truth. The openings I leave. The casualties I prevent. I'm still me, Hana. Still the man who loved you. Still trying to build instead of destroy. His voice broke slightly. If you believe me, signal on our old frequency. If you don't, I'll understand. Either way, I love you. I never stopped. Goodbye, Hana. The recording ended. Hana sat in silence for a long time. Her mind raced. Her heart pounded. Could it be true? Or was this an elaborate trap? She watched the recording again. And again, she studied the images of the planet killers. She checked the battle data he provided. Everything matched. Every detail aligned with her own observations. The door opened. Nari entered without knocking, which meant it was an emergency. Admiral, command is calling. They want a status update. They're talking about replacing you. Hana stood. Her decision was made. Tell them to wait. I need to speak with you first. Close the door. Nari closed the door, looking concerned. What's wrong? Everything. And nothing. Hana showed her the recording. All of it. Nari watched in silence. When it finished, she looked at Hana with wide eyes. Do you believe him? Nari asked. Yes, I think I do. Why? Because I know him. The real him. And I've seen the evidence myself. His tactics. His restraint. The patterns. Hana paced the office. But more than that, what he's describing makes sense. The Dominion has been too confident, too willing to let battles go on. They're not worried, because they have a final option. A weapon we don't know about. If he's telling the truth, what do? We do exactly what he asked. Hana stopped pacing. We lose, Admiral, not a real loss. A controlled loss. We stage a desperate final assault. We let him defeat us. We sacrifice ships, but we choose which ones. We minimize casualties where we can. Then we retreat publicly. Command will think I failed. The Dominion will think Jintai succeeded. And while everyone thinks the battle is over, we take a strike team to destroy the Armihilation Armada. Nari was quiet for a long moment. If you're wrong, this will destroy everything. Your career, your reputation, and it will cost lives, I know. If you're right, you'll save billions. I know that too. Nari looked at her commander, her friend. What do you need from me? Honesty. Do you think I'm being fooled by old feelings? Or do you think this is real? Nari thought carefully. I think the evidence supports his story. I think the risk is worth taking. And I think if anyone can pull this off, it's you two. Hana nodded. Then we begin. Get me a list of volunteers. People willing to crew the most dangerous ships. People who understand they might die for a mission they can't know about. You'll have it in an hour. After Nari left, Hana sent a simple message on the old frequency. Just 2 words, I believe. 3 hours later, a response came back. Also 2 words. The fake defeat began at dawn. Hana's fleet launched what appeared to be a desperate final assault. 300 ships, all that remained operational, drove straight toward Earth's defense network. No clever tactics. No careful planning. Just a brutal head-on attack. It looked like desperation. Like an admiral who had run out of options. It was perfect. Jintei's defenses tore into them. Missiles screamed through space. Energy weapons carved through shields. Ships exploded in brilliant flashes. The volunteers, people who knew they were part of something bigger, fought bravely. Some died. More survived because Hana and Jintai had planned every move carefully. But to everyone watching, it looked like disaster. Admiral, we're losing, Lieutenant Park shouted. 94 ships destroyed or crippled. Defense network holding. We can't break through. All ships retreat, Hana ordered, her voice heavy with false defeat. Fall back. We've lost. The fleet turned and ran. Earth remained behind them, still in Dominion hands. Still defended by the traitor who had defeated humanity's greatest admiral. Coalition command exploded with anger. Messages flooded and demanding explanations. How had the perfect admiral lost? How had 300 ships failed? Hana broadcast her response to all coalition forces. This is Admiral Hana Kang. I have failed in my mission to retake Earth. The enemy defenses were too strong. Their commander too skilled. I take full responsibility for this defeat. I am returning to base to face consequences. Command should assign a new admiral for future operations. She cut the transmission. Around her, the bridge crew looked devastated. Only Nari knew the truth. Only Nari understood. Now comes the hard part, Nari said quietly. Yes. Hana stood. Lieutenant Park, you have command. Take the fleet to Rendezvous Point Beta. Captain Song and I are taking a shuttle for a reconnaissance mission. Admiral, that's not safe, Park protested. I don't need safe. I need information. We need to understand how we lost so we don't lose again. It was a weak excuse, but Park accepted it. He had no reason to doubt his admiral. Hana and Nari took 30 ships and disappeared. They went dark, cutting all communications with the main fleet. To everyone else, Admiral Kang was sulking in defeat, hiding in shame. In reality, they were racing toward the dark zone. 3 days later, they reached the coordinates Jintai had provided. Empty space. Nothing but stars and darkness. Are you sure this is right? Nari asked. He said he'd meet us here. Hana replied. As if in answer, a single Dominion ship appeared. Small. Fast. Jintai's personal command vessel. Incoming transmission, the communications officer reported. Put it through, Hana said. Jintai's face appeared on screen. This time he was smiling. Really smiling. The first genuine smile she had seen from him in 18 years. Permission to come aboard, Admiral? Granted. They met in a small transport bay between the ships. Neutral ground. Hana went alone, as Jintai requested. He stood waiting as she entered. They looked at each other across the empty space. 18 years of separation. 18 years of loss and pain and loneliness. Hello, Hana, he said softly. Hello, Jintai. They moved toward each other slowly. Not running. Not rushing. Just walking, closing the distance between them step by step. I'm sorry, Jintai said. For everything. For letting you think I was dead. For... Hana reached him and put her hand over his mouth. Stop, you did what you had to do. You saved us all. She removed her hand. They stared at each other. So close now. After so many years, I missed you, Jintai whispered. Every single day, I missed you too. I thought I'd buried those feelings. But I never did. I just locked them away. They had 1 hour. That was all. 1 hour before they had to move. 1 hour to compress 18 years of lost time. They didn't talk much. They sat together. Jintai transferred the data to Hana's device. Armada location. Command codes. Defense patterns. Everything she needed, his hand found hers. They held each other's hands like teenagers. Like they used to on Mars under the dome. After this, Jintai said, after we destroy the Armada. Will you forgive me? There's nothing to forgive, Hana replied. You were the bravest of us. You lived as a lie for 18 years to save everyone. You're a hero, Jintai. I don't feel like a hero. I feel like I lost everything that mattered. You didn't lose me. I'm right here, he looked at her. Really looked at her. When this is over, if we survive, can we try again? Can we go back to who we were? We can't go back, Hana said honestly. We're different people now. But maybe we can build something new, something better. He smiled. The real smile she remembered. I'd like that. Too soon, the hour ended. They had to move. The Armada was waiting. The codes will work for 3 hours once activated, Jintai explained. After that, the system resets. You'll have one chance. I won't waste it. They stood to leave. Jintai pulled her into a hug. She held him tight, breathing in his scent, feeling his heart beat against hers. Come back alive, she whispered. You too. The Annihilation Armada was hidden in a nebula beyond mapped space. 12 massive ships, each carrying weapons powerful enough to destroy a planet. Around them, defense satellites and patrol ships. The Dominion's ultimate secret. Hana's 30 ships looked tiny in comparison. But they had surprise. They had Jintai's codes. And they had the 2 best tactical minds humanity had produced. Jintai inserted the codes. Defense systems powered down. Alarms stayed silent. The path opened. All ships, attack formation, Hana ordered. Target the planet killers. Ignore everything else. We have 3 hours. They swept in like avenging angels. Torpedoes launched. Energy weapons fired. The first planet killer exploded in a cascade of secondary detonations. Then the second. The third, but the Dominion wasn't stupid. They realized the codes had been compromised. Alarms blared. Defense systems activated. Patrol ships swarmed. Here they come, Nari said grimly. The fighting was desperate. Hana's small fleet was outnumbered 10-1. But they were fighting for everything. For their homes. For their families. For humanity's future, ships died. Good people died, but they kept fighting. 11 planet killers destroyed. 1 remained, and then the nightmare happened. The final planet killer activated its weapon. Its targeting system locked onto coordinates. Earth. The weapon would fire in 3 minutes. We can't reach it in time, Nari said, her voice filled with horror. Even if we launch everything, it won't be enough to stop it. Hana's mind raced. No, not like this. Not after everything. This is Jintai. His voice came over the communications. Calm, steady. I'm taking a strike team aboard. We'll detonate it from inside. No, Hana said immediately. Jintai, find another way. There is no other way. You know that. I can get inside with my codes. I can reach the core. Manual detonation. It's the only option. You'll die. I know. His voice was so gentle, so accepting. I've lived 18 years as a ghost, Hana. Let me die as myself. Let me die saving our home. No, I order you to find another. I'm not under your command anymore. She could hear the smile in his voice. I stopped taking orders when I defected, remember? Jintai, please, I love you, Hana-kang. I loved you then. I love you now. I'll love you in whatever comes next. Tell everyone the truth. Tell them what I did. That I was loyal. That I never betrayed humanity. That I fought in the shadows for 18 years. Promise me. Tears ran down Hana's face. I promise. Thank you. Now I need to go. 3 minutes isn't much time. Jintai, goodbye, my love. Thank you for believing in me. The connection cut. On the tactical screen, Hana watched Jintai's ship race toward the planet killer. She watched him dock. Watched him disappear inside. 2 minutes passed. The longest 2 minutes of her life. Then the planet killer exploded. A massive, brilliant detonation that lit up the entire nebula. When the light faded, there was nothing left. No ship, no weapon. No Jintai. Hana stood frozen. The bridge was silent. Everyone knew what had happened. Everyone understood the sacrifice, Admiral, Nari said softly. The remaining Dominion forces are retreating. We won. Won. The word felt hollow. Empty. They had destroyed the Armada. They had saved humanity. But the cost? Hana touched the ring on her chain. The silver ring she had worn for 18 years, waiting for a man she thought was dead. A man she had found again. A man she had lost again. Prepare the fleet, she said, her voice barely steady. We're going home. 3 years later, Mars Colony Prime had been rebuilt. Gardens grew under the domes again. Children played in parks. Life returned to the red planet. Hana stood before a memorial stone. Simple granite, engraved with a name, Wu Jintai, hero of humanity. The truth had come out. Jintai's 18-year mission was revealed. The Annihilation Armada. The codes. The sacrifice. He was celebrated across all human worlds. Statues built. Songs written. Children learned his name in history lessons. The war had ended 6 months after the Armada's destruction. Without their ultimate weapon, the Dominion collapsed. Earth was freed. Peace finally came. Hana had resigned from the military. She couldn't command anymore. Not after everything. Now she taught at the academy on Mars, sharing her knowledge with the next generation. She visited Jintai's memorial every week. Today, the anniversary of his death, she wasn't alone. Hundreds of people filled the memorial ground. Soldiers, civilians, families. All honoring the ghost who saved them. Captain Nari, now Admiral Song, approached. He would be proud of you. You gave up everything to trust him.